Hi, my name is Haley Tamber. I'm a certified regenerative health practitioner, iridologist, and massage therapist. I help with autoimmune, cancer, gut injury, nervous system disorders, all the way to preventative health. Today, I want to talk about the gut-brain axis and why it is so important. So let's start with a little outline on the nervous system. We have the parasympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for our rest and digest. And then we have the sympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for our fight or flight. So if you're constantly stressed, you're operating out of a sympathetic nervous system. And we have the enteric nervous system, which is responsible for the movement of bowels, the movement of water and electrolytes and nutrients across the gut and into the blood. And it is also the connection of neurotransmitters and the connection to the brain. And this is all in your gut. This is what we're highlighting today. Our gut health is responsible for our brain and our nervous system health. This is a big concept to grasp. Your nervous system is an electrical current system that is physically connected to your body and transports via the blood and hormones through your lymphatic system and the myelin sheath. When we have an environment in the body that clogs up the travel of the nervous system, like a congested lymphatic system, inflammation, slower, fast-moving toxic bowels, we may get other symptoms that present themselves randomly without much warning. This electrical system of our body needs to communicate with our brain to be able to move throughout the gut so we can produce the hormones that we need to operate. We are trillions of cells, two fluids, blood and lymph. The blood feeds and the lymph cleans. The lymphatic system is the sewer system of the body. It cleans all the glands, organs, and tissues and brings the waste to the kidneys to get eliminated. Oftentimes, our kidneys are congested and not properly filtering, so we get an accumulation of acidic waste in the body. Acid wastes come in the form of metabolic wastes from all of our cells. They eat and poop just like we do, as well as toxins that we come across daily in our air, water, food, and as well as the products we may put on our skin. This acid waste is corrosive and it can short out the nervous system. How can you tell if your nervous system is acting up? Numbness or tingling, especially in the extremities, ringing in the ears, irregular heartbeats and palpitations, easily startled, quick to tears, quick to getting overwhelmed. The adrenals are deeply connected and come into play here, and we'll go into more depth with adrenal health another time. But if you have weak adrenals, you also have a weak nervous system. The central nervous system is actually located in our gut. Your gut health is your brain health. And if you're constantly getting brain fog or walking into a room, forgetting what you walked in for, or forgetting the words, or your brain feels slower, this is all due to gut and in particular the biodiversity and the microbiome, which we'll go over. Your gut is where all of these neurotransmitters are located, where the communication is going to the brain, and it comes down to a healthy gut microbiome level. It is ultimately what is responsible for all this communication with the hypothalamus gland. And the hypothalamus gland communicates with the pituitary, which governs our entire endocrine system, from pancreas, parathyroid, thyroid, reproductive organs, adrenals, thymus, and the pineal gland. This communication pathway is called the HPA axis, the hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis. Let's highlight the adrenals here since they are so important. They tell your body to be in rest and digest, or fight or flight, and they are responsible for mineral conversion, sugar and carbohydrate metabolism. They also produce neurotransmitters, and they help regulate this feedback system through the HPA axis. So if we don't have healthy bacteria in the gut, that communication is not happening to the hypothalamus, which is not communicating to the pituitary, which regulates the adrenals. Then the adrenals start to produce excess amounts of steroids in your system. Tons of cortisol gets pumped throughout the body, which initiates a negative feedback loop. This feedback loop actually tells the body to produce less of some of the crucial hormones, so we start to see imbalances hormonally, which causes a cascade of issues in other systems of the body, and it creates an environment that will operate in that negative feedback loop until the gut is able to heal and restore that communication pathway. And if the body does not feel safe, it will continue to operate out of survival until the balance is restored. And it really depends on how long we've been living this way to determine the levels of healing needed. But When we are in this negative feedback loop, we start to feel brain fog, fatigue, hormonal imbalances, maybe sleep issues, lightheadedness. It goes on and on. The gut is an integral part of our health, and it is the basis of communication with our brain. I can't repeat that enough. Another key aspect of our gut is this protective barrier, our gut lining, which is only half a hair strand thick, which seems crazy, but our internal world is supposed to be in contact with the external world. We are not connected to nature anymore. We are indoors, behind computers, under artificial lights, and eating foods that are toxic and highly processed. Our gut lining has been so compromised in so many cases and broken open, leaching harmful bacteria substances through the body, which I'm convinced is the root of all dis-ease. A major component of all of this is glyphosate, which is the active ingredient in Roundup. It is in the air we breathe, the water we drink, and the food we eat. It actually has been found in 75% of rainwater samples. It literally is meant to kill everything that it comes in contact with, and we are consuming it daily. It is an oral antibiotic, and it was patented as a pipe cleaner like Drano in the 1960s. Everything that it comes in contact with on the surface of the earth, it kills. It does the same thing in your gut, wiping out the diversity within you that you need for this extensive electrical communication pathway to function. I wasn't really planning on going into glyphosate as much, but here we are, because it is a major catalyst. Glyphosate exposure creates a reaction in the body after it leaks through the system. Through this protective barrier, it is affecting the immune system. We see an increase of C-reactive protein, and this is our body's response to inflammation. It creates swelling, water retention, weight gain, fatigue, and it really is just really messy, and it lurks in our system. Because of this disruption of the microbiome, it is also linked to several neurological disorders. If you look at a map of the United States where the highest amount of glyphosate has been used, it also correlates with the highest numbers of neurological disorders and cancers and the like. This is why the gut-brain axis is so important. As always, thank you guys for tuning in for this Thriving Thursday. I hope you are getting something out of this. And I don't know what it is. Like, I'm still so nervous to be in front of a screen and not necessarily have people to talk to. And I know over time this will get more smooth and it'll just be a little bit easier and flow better. But I am deeply connected with nervous system and gut health, and it has a lot to do with my own health story, which I will come on here at some point and mention my whole long story. But it really is those two things that I had to really transform down to the cellular level, and am grateful for it and for this practice, so I can get lost in rabbit holes under each topic. So yes, thank you for listening in, tuning in, and look out for next week, and we'll be building. Usually every week we'll just kind of be building on a topic. So yeah, thanks for listening.